tornado level.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get things started here. There's been some activity. We did a little bit of a jump earlier. I'm going to go ahead and just mute the. I'm just muting you, Audrey, just because of the background noise. You can unmute. You can still unmute yourself if you have a question or anything. Alrighty, let's get the screen share up and running. Here we go, folks. Let's go like this. I don't know why that is. There we go. All right. So now, oh, that's still not big enough. There. All right. So silver, gold, both down from earlier today. Both are experiencing a little bit of a pullback. We've got the Dow Jones looking like it's ready to push up towards that all-time high again. And this is in line with what I'm hearing about and what I'm seeing happen. The general conversation or the tone of the conversation leading into the inauguration on Monday is that cryptos are going to get the big thumbs up, basically. And that's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for the big thumbs up. Yay, now it's in the executive order. I actually think as a result of this, this is going to be a very encouraging 3 to 4 months for a lot of people. Obviously, it'll be awesome for us because we're in line for this big wealth transfer to take place, and we can definitely appreciate these gains. But I think generally speaking, the economy is actually going to do very well because I think America is going to go to war, and which always ramps it up. And I think that the war is going to be, I think it's going to be against. I could be wrong, but I think that the war is actually going to be against extraterrestrials. Just the way that things are going with all these fancy lights that are all over the sky, and the way that Elon has
Bingo.
very well, he's very well marketed his products in space. And then, of course, we go back in time to when Trump was president last time, how he was investing in the Space Force, right? So I think that what we're going to see is a war against extraterrestrials. Whether it's real or not doesn't matter. It's just the image that they're going to portray in order to keep the economy going. And that's the American way. Like when we really think about it, what has America done for the last 100 years other than destroy nations through war and conquest? And what have they done other than exporting their inflation to the nations that they destroy? What have they done other than it's I remember seeing a meme back in 2017 where it had a picture of the Middle East, right? And then all of the American bases that were surrounding Iran. And, it said, look at these people. This Iran is so violent. They plopped their country right next to all of these bases. And that's kind of it's a joke, obviously, but it's kind of the thing about the states. So that's what they do. The only way that the United States government, especially through the Federal Reserve, can bring in any kind of anything that looks like wealth is through war, because that's the system. That's the genocidal, psychopathic, murderous nature of the monetary system that runs all of these nations. So yeah, the states with their Federal Reserve, they're going to do whatever they can to hang on to that as best they can. And Trump is brought forward into this realm, specifically into this time, the season 3 of the Great Reset, specifically to get that going, to get that war machine nice and healthy. Oh, sorry, I was on the wrong chart. Dow Jones. His job is to improve this. So, on the Global 30 cryptos, we can see we've been coming up here, nice little bull run over the last few days. I believe that we'll see another pullback over the weekend, just one more pullback coming back down to rest on these on this. Might dip down even to this level here, the 22, because that was back here. So it might dip down to this level here before the inauguration, and then afterwards, it's all speculation anyway. Bitcoin, though, did come back up above $100,000, and I've made a few calls, and I've told everybody not to let it go below again. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. This support is really strong. You think about it, how much this dipped down into this range here. That's a very healthy. That's very healthy support. So if it can maintain this over the next little while, we might see it come back down, test the top of this consolidation range before the election, especially over the weekend here. We might dip back down under 100,000. But yeah, since yesterday, it started just above 100,000 and has continued to rise for the last, 12, 14 hours, 15 hours. Ethereum, being the laggard that it is, still showing that downward trend, having a difficult time actually. You can see that we drew this line here a few days ago, and it's having a difficult time getting above that. See what happens. I think again this weekend we might see it fall down along with this trend line here. That wouldn't be the worst thing. Again, kind of waiting for the election. Be mindful, Ethereum always trails Bitcoin. So as we're watching these markets move, I am looking for Bitcoin to actually go above the all-time high before I see Ethereum make its run to its all-time high, which is a ways to go. We have a ways to go, folks. It's only $3,400 right now, US, $3,429 to be specific, and it needs to go up 41% to bring us back to the all-time high. So, that's a fair ways for Ethereum. But I don't think we're going to see that run until Bitcoin makes a new high. And remember, Ethereum is just always behind by 4 to 6 weeks or so. So just be mindful that after it creates its own high, Ethereum might take a few more weeks before it does the same thing. I just don't think we're going to see that start until Bitcoin gets up above that all-time high and starts shooting for its next target, which I think is going to be 120,000. Cardano, breaking out of its pennant pattern that we drew there yesterday or a few days ago. It is definitely nice and strong right now, sitting at $1.61 Canadian or $1.11 US. It's not a bad entry when you really think about it in the big scheme of things. If we zoom out on this asset, you can see just how well positioned this is in the big scheme of things. So this high right here, that was a good consolidation range a few times. This resistance now that would be here, that's what we're kind of battling against right now. We tested that resistance. Coming back down to this level from here shows that we're in a good position for support to continue upwards. Again, I'm not saying it could still come back down and test this again, especially leading into inauguration. We might see it come back down to this level, and this would be, that's that 85 cents US. So it could very well come back down to here, and that would not be bad. But even if you were to buy now, you're still going to do really well, because this thing here is supposed to go up to $10, right? So if it's sitting at $1.11 right now and it goes to $10, or 7, that's a 7x away, almost 8x. So, yep, it's in a good position. Solana, similar looking chart, actually breaking out of that downward trend at the moment. Still have to create a new high yet. Even though we're broke out of this trend line, we do need to see a new high. And I would suspect that if we are going to see a pullback here before the election, that it's likely to look like this before it creates that high. Okay, just as a heads up. So for those of you that are interested in Solana, one thing that's interesting is that Trump is further indicating that he will be utilizing XRP even and Solana. And in fact, there was another thing that I saw from and we'll pull it up, but from Virtual Bacon today, is that now it looks like Litecoin is going to be seeing ETFs. So if we go to Coin Market Cap, Litecoin is an oldie. We call that a boomer coin in this industry. So Litecoin is an old coin going back a long ways. You can see that it's done well whenever there has been a bump, but it's only ever gone up. Yeah, it went up to 359 in 2017, but then in the 2021 bubble, it only went up to 354. So it didn't actually go even high. It didn't go higher in the last run. However, this time around, we can see that we're at a much higher shelf, right? You know, before it was back $3-4, right? And then after that, it was averaging probably around $50-60. Well, since we're starting out this new bubble here, we haven't really done this big spike that we're waiting for. Well, that spike is now starting at a much higher level than it was last time and the time before. So we'll see what happens. But Litecoin, they are going to be adding ETFs to that. So again, selling Litecoin that doesn't exist in the future, hoping to increase its price. And so that's going to create some more faith and a lot more sentiment, bullish sentiment in the cryptos. Injective token, also coming up here over the last few days, back into profit on the purchase that I made back in October. Fetch also still at a great entry point. Didn't come up as much as the others have. In fact, only 4.5% today, whereas even Injective went up 8%. Polygon up a little bit from a couple days ago. Today's Friday. So up from a couple of days ago, showing some strength here actually. If we take a look at how this resistance here, that resistance got beat out right here, no problem, and now is finding support at that same level. It's a good sign that we're going to be creating some new highs here soon. 3 Protocol still hanging out at the lows. However, today, out of all of the days, that little tiny bar right down here, I'm zooming right in, aren't I? That little tiny bar has translated into a 15% growth. So I'm going to stress, folks, this is great buying time, and I did go ahead and add a little bit to my 3 Protocol bag because that was just too good when it's like so low like that. Woo also up today, bouncing off of this support would be positive, would be a very positive move. Again, with the inauguration, we might still see some bearish. The bears might still have a chance at bringing the price down, but I don't think that they have much time. I think they're running out of runway, and especially with the encouragement into cryptos that Trump is projecting, the amount of encouragement in the markets will definitely bring this back up. Destra doing awesome after this retracement here. It's been consolidating for about a week now. Is that right? This is 9 bars now. It's been consolidating and dipped down here to find some new lows just below 30 cents. Definitely ready to hit that next target, which my next target where I'm going to start considering selling some of this off is going to be at $1. Once I'm at $1, I'm going to start looking at other options to move the money into to leverage this growth even further. I'll keep it in here. I'll keep some in here. Probably up to $5 is what I'm thinking. I'm gonna watch again at $5, and I'll create another withdrawal at that point. 0 by 0. And then of course the high end. The high end on this one is $10. If it goes to $10, then I'll definitely be happy, no question about it. But that's kind of my trade plan. Once I get up to $1, I'm gonna look at things, evaluate, $2 again, I'll evaluate. But I think that we're going to see this definitely hit $5, no problem. Zero by Zero, likewise, will do very well. It's similarly priced to Destra at the moment, just a little bit less. Um, and in a very similar in a very similar field, focusing more so on the private AIs that are going to be we'll probably see them come out in the springtime. That's when Nvidia said they're shipping out their $3,000 box, where then the AI will take care of your computing for you, so that you don't have to spend time in front of the screen and click mouse, move mice and click buttons, because that's really an inefficient use of our time. IOS network,
I
yep, up a little
heard
bit.
I heard
Hel-
about wasn't it Google and the gaming? They're coming out with something new.
Yeah, Google has come up with a new gaming thing. I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, I saw that as well. That they
And
are.
they're
Go
all
ahead.
they were all excited about it.
Yep, people are excited about it. I'm not that excited about it because again, they're overselling this whole thing. They're overselling it. This is an AI bubble because AI can't do what they say that it's going to do. So they're overselling this thing. They're overselling this thing so much. People are going
Well,
to get the
right? It's even on the radio, just a
yeah,
regular Edmonton radio. Yeah. So
yep, yep.
overselling.
And that right there, the fact that it's on the radio talking about that kind of thing, that's actually a really interesting point. Remember, we know when it's time to sell, and that's when everybody all of the people that are catching up, when they start buying, right? We're selling to them. That's the idea. It's when everybody's talking about it. When everybody's talking about it, that's when you know it's time to sell. And so it's interesting that it's already on the radio. That means that programming is there now, right? So over the next few years, over the next few months, we're going to see more and more people get exposed to this message that AI is going to do this amazing thing. Of course, it'll be so late in the game that when people do come in, they're going to be buying. I've talked about this how many times? Look at Litecoin. They're going to be buying here because they're seeing all of this and they're like, oh, look at how much it's growing. And they're going to buy. And that's because that's how it's being sold. It's being sold that this is going to take over the world. It's being sold that it's dangerous. They've got tons of division around this. They've got people fighting amongst each other about whether or not AI is good or bad. I've got very close friends that are saying that if I get one of those AI machines, they're not even going to be my friend anymore. It's like it's wild. It's wild how much programming has been poured into this, specifically so that they can pull the last bit of liquidity out of the retail market. That's the general consumer. They're going to take that liquidity from us and just run with it. They're going to literally pull that rug out from underneath the people, and we can at least safeguard our own wealth from such a thing, simply because we're not sitting here waiting for the price to go up to buy. Right? I've done it. I've made the mistake, and I own up to it because I just started even this year earlier. We started that out with Trog. When it came up, I was like, "Oh, that's exciting." I bought it, and then it dropped to nothing. Thankfully, it came back, and so Audrey was able to get her money back out of what she put in. But me, no, I've made the mistake, folks. I've done it lots of times, and we avoid that as much as possible. And it takes that nerves of steel, ice in your veins almost, where when you look at the price fluctuations, it doesn't do anything to you emotionally. That's why I have a black and white chart, by the way. A lot of people don't like my charts because they're not telling people whether or not like the bars are going up or down. And it's like, well, first off, it does tell me whether or not the bar is going up or down. Here's the entry. Like that's the opening of the day. This is the range of the day, and that's the close of the day. So it tells me whether or not the price is going up or down, but it's black and white because I don't want any emotion. And when you start running charts like how most people run charts, red and green, red going down, green going up, both of those colors induce an emotion. And so when you're looking at those charts, you're getting the emotion projected into your eye of what you're supposed to be feeling. So I go to black and white charts because I don't want feelings. I don't want feelings when I'm looking at the charts. I just want to see the chart. I just want to see the price action. So I go black and white. That's why I do what I do. That's why I have charts that nobody likes. I don't care what they like. I just don't want the emotion to be involved when I'm looking at the price. So, kind of went off on a tangent there, but that's when everyone's talking about AI and how it's going to moon, that's when we're definitely getting out. Anyone protocol also very much bouncing off of a recent support. Good entry point still. Very good entry point. ARC, same idea. Look at that. Going back up to all-time high, we're looking at a 343% growth. Link AI, same idea. Not as much growth going up to the all-time high, but it's also a shorter-term project. It doesn't have as much history. WorldCoin beautifully sitting at a low price of $2. It is the all-time high. All-time high is already 4x away. Wonderful. Neural. Again, newer project. But since the all-time high that was formed there at the beginning of since the all-time high that was formed at the beginning of December, it has come back, found this support right now. Yeah, found the support at $7 or so. And so going back to the all-time high is going to be 120. Oh, wait. From where we are now to there is a 53% increase. Beam is showing downward trend since the all-time high, but it's also definitely touched a major resistance point / pivot point rather. So that support is now there, ready to go up. PAL, likewise, still showing strength going up. Don't be deceived by this too much because we didn't come down and properly test this line. Now, down here, there was lots, right? But I would like to see this come back down and just touch that. It doesn't have to. I'm going to be happy if it continues to go up. But we're not at the inauguration yet. I do believe we're going to see some fear injected into the media, especially leading up to the days before the inauguration. I mean, look at what they've done. They've ordered something like triple the amount of paramedics and stuff that they normally do for this gathering. So, they've got something up their sleeve. FAR, still beautifully down low, still close to the purchase price that I bought back in October. IMX also at a low right now. It's interesting how these are different. Like if we take a look at Beam, low, Neural, low, but then we take a look at where was the one where it's like, no, it's actually up high compared to where, Destra is up high compared to where it was. Woo definitely didn't go down to a new low, but we're seeing FAR down very, very low. IMX very, very low in its range. If we take a look at how things have gone throughout 2024, these ones are lower. I think it's to do with the fact that it's in the gaming industry. Here we have Superverse sitting at $1.30 right now with a high of the recent high of $2.30. Some great growth is available for us there, and then of course the all-time high sitting at $4.80. So great little move. That'll be a great asset as time goes on. Clearpool running very, very well over the last few days since finding that support at that old pivot point. Seed World. Let's see where we're at here. Oh, nice big long day. We call this a long day where the price definitely has been showing some life coming into it over the last little while. Now, what is this growth here? It's showing 19%. So it's in a good position. Non playable coin also up 12% today, coming back from below this little pivot point here, this pivot line, this pivot area, coming back into this long term consolidation zone. If we can stay above this, that'd be awesome. But again, we might see it come back down, and you could get some more. You get add to the bag, so to speak. Get some more volume in there. SPX 6900 up 30% today alone, so that's a great move for those that got it recently. Yeah, it's definitely. I think memes are going to lead the way, folks. You know, between NPC, SPX 6900. What's another one? Bonk. There are a few others they're leading the way. They're the ones kind of charging the gate, so to speak. So there we go. That's market analysis of the charts for January 17th. One thing I wanted to talk about today was I wanted to talk about community. You know, what we're going through right now is the inevitable result of people forming community. I know we're going through some terrible things as well in today's world. Like, we see some of the news that's out there. We see some of the bad news. A lot of there's a lot of insecurity, uncertainty that a lot of people experience. And I want to just say, there is that. And there's tons of things that are happening as a result of us not building community. However, with Bitcoin, when it got started, immediately a community of people came together and made that possible. And now we're seeing, communities popping up all over the place in the form of memes, that they're literally creating a meme for their community. And they are experiencing exponential growth over the last year. We're going to see that continue going forward. And so I'm going to extend an invitation to people. I think that, the people that are the most disenfranchised right now, politically, economically, socially, I believe that over the last 4 years, the social distancing that has exasperated the feeling of being alone is driving a great deal of it's driving a lot of momentum to have people find community, even if it's online, like what we're doing here. The disenfranchisement that people have experienced is due to a lot of people not they're not even resonating. They're not empathetic to what it is that this disenfranchised people have experienced over the last 4 years. What I did over the last 4 years, I shut down a marketing firm, and I had a business in 2019. I made it like $1 million. And I shut everything down in 2020 because I realized that I had a certain set of skills that were going to assist people in lawful non-compliance. And it's a very lonely path, because not very many people have this set of skills. Not very many people even, I don't want to say it's impossible for them, but I just got really practiced at it. Since 2013, I haven't even paid a red cent in taxes because they're unlawful. And I know how to stand in law regarding that topic. And my assistance to other people, everything that I did over the last 4 years, as much as I was able to help, it was very, very isolating. And so looking at how over the past 4 years, the vast majority of people who were embracing this great reset, the vast majority of those people are doing very well right now economically. They're doing very well right now socially. They don't see the world from the same perspective that I see it. They're experiencing growth. And the common denominator with the people that experience that growth, economic growth. I didn't experience economic growth for the last 4 years because I chose a lifestyle that doesn't do that. You don't prosper helping people get out of a system of tyranny. That's not a prosperous vocation. But the reason why those people had that success, and the reason why those winners, so to speak, those people that won economically, the reason why they had that was because they had community. In the same way, I was building community around lawful noncompliance, and we thrived in the sense that we helped a lot of people. We had over 250,000 downloads on the PDF, the paperwork that people could take to their employers, telling them, no, these mandates that you have for us to get this experimental therapy injected into our bloodstreams, you, employer, require my informed consent to make such an order. We had 250,000 people download that. So we had success as well, and it was built around community. In fact, there were 75 of us that worked together in a decentralized, autonomous organization throughout 2021, specifically to help people with this. We built community around something, and we won. Well, the communities that were being built throughout the last 4 years, all of them thrived in their own way. And the reason why, I believe, was because of how much social distancing exasperated the need for connection, that desire, that burning desire for connection. And what I want to share with you today is that if you are looking for ways that you can prosper going forward into the fourth industrial revolution, as we now head into season 3 of the Great Reset, and all of the implications that come with the wealth transfer accompanying it. If you're looking for an opportunity to pioneer this uncharted territory with other pioneers in a community of people who are creating new opportunities for themselves, they are expanding their possibility horizons exponentially as a result of looking at the world from a different perspective. A perspective that is most naturally to occur because of the progress that we've made since the 1990s. The internet changed everything. The information age changed everything, and we are responsible for our perception of the world. And if we are going to continue perceiving the world in an old perspective, with old paradigms, as the new world ushers forward, people will feel more and more left behind. And they will be more and more susceptible to the tyrants that really just kind of push people around wherever they want to go, because they try to control how the monetary system works. But now, when any community can come together and create their own private infrastructure banking system, it's not a bank, but a banking system, something that the people can make contributions to in order for their community to thrive. That's what the banks were originally for, especially the regional banks. As people are doing that, we're going to see new levels of economic freedom come forward because the barrier of entry is so low. Any community can get started with that infrastructure bank with about $1,500 worth of equipment, Canadian dollars. Can you take 1,500 Canadian dollars and you can have all the equipment you need for any community to create their own infrastructure bank and their method of consensus on how they choose to be governed and how their assets choose how they choose their assets to be governed. And the fact that that is now available for a small community this year is going to make it where communities lead the way going forward. That is the trend that we're seeing. And for businesses, my intention is to help them reshape how their business is run with a new paradigm. That the only way that you're going to thrive as we go through this next 2, 5, 10 years is by building community around the brand. And so that's what my intention with Next Gen Merchants is. My intention with Next Gen Merchants is that we now have a little bit of an incubator community for the next generation of merchants coming forward. These are the people who are entrepreneurial. They've got a product or a service that they are passionate to deliver, and they're seeking more creative ways to bring their attention to the awareness of their surrounding markets, to the awareness of the people within their community. And they want to be able to gift people their talents, their skills, their passions. And those people, in order for them to shape these new paradigms, whether it's with Next Gen Merchants or not, they're going to need a community within which they can thrive and together work on this becoming the next generation of merchants. So, here's how you know whether or not you're ready to join a community that is doing something that you really want to do. And this is the leading indicator. If you feel friction between the world that you're currently experiencing and what you visualize for yourself. If you're feeling like right now something's not right, that you're not settled, and that you're not at home, that feeling of being home is something where our bodies can really thrive. In fact, it's a healing experience. The feeling of being home, safe, sound. Now, of course, if you grew up and home wasn't safe, maybe that's not the feeling. However, that feeling of safety and security, that's something that we all want. We all just want to feel love, peace, kindness with each other, ease. Deep down inside, these are the things that we want. And when we are experiencing in a present moment, when we are experiencing discord from that vision for ourselves, from that desire, very natural desire, when we have discord between the two, it becomes like friction. It's like I'm angsty about with where I am because I feel like where I am isn't taking me where I want to go. And that's okay. I mean, we take a look around, a lot of nasty shit has happened over the last 4 years. A lot of people feel very isolated and removed from community. And I'm here to let you know that if you're experiencing that, the big difference, almost like there's a chasm, but those two conflicting environments, right? What you visualize and what you're experiencing, that's just creating an unsettled feeling like I'm not ready. I'm here to let you know that in Next Gen Merchants, you may find that. And so I invite you to reach out, get in touch with me. I've got my contact information here. You can go to this website. You can connect with us on Telegram. You can join the Next Gen Merchants on Telegram. You can also follow me on X. You can subscribe to my YouTube from there. Also, if you are looking for a path for yourself, your family, for your business, going into this fourth industrial revolution, You can book a time to sit with me. We'll chat for about 30 minutes or so. I'll really just do most of the listening. I want you to talk about your business. Tell me what it's going on. Tell me what's happening for you. And then from that conversation, I can spend usually about 5 to 10 minutes giving you some specific instructions that will help you position your life for this great reset. We're going into season 3 of the Great Reset, folks. This renaissance is absolutely mind blowing. I could blow your mind for days with some of these things that are happening. So in that meeting, my intention is to set you on a course that allows you and your family and your business to prosper going forward into this fourth industrial revolution, this renaissance. And so if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead. I can't help you really with, big long presentations and tons of slides and all that stuff. Really, we have to come back to building community. And so in that meeting there, I'm able to get a good sense of what it is that you're after and figure out where the blockages are, figure out where the resistance is, and make sure that you're set on a path to break through those things and start working towards. You'll start to see that gap between what you want and what you're currently experiencing. You'll start to see that gap start to close, especially after that meeting, because immediately you'll have action steps that you can start taking, whether you become a member or not. My intention is, after that meeting that we have, that you are fully equipped to move forward powerfully and start closing that gap and work towards that future that it is that you hold for yourself. So thank you, everybody. Market analysis for Friday is done. We're going to see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. And yeah, have a good day.